I had to restart that video. I wasn't liking it. And I went into it. It was a while that I was into it too. That sucks. But I'm just gonna I'm gonna cut right to the chase. So I never got to this Backstreet Boys larger than life Mata Hari hostage situation story. We'll get to that first of all the things on my like channel list. I'm so tired of my hair. I really am. I'm so, you know what? I'm keeping that way because I need to put my makeup. Okay, so I'm being held hostage in my apartment on March 3rd. Okay, and I'm between a shootout between the Brotherhood and the Brotherhood. And I don't see the Brotherhood. I just that's what I'm calling them because I'm assuming there's some other like, you know, like I'm right in the middle of this battle I found myself in from, you know, researching vowels and whatnot. And like Mu, I've already known about Lemuria. So like again, I'll get into that. So, March 3rd, my living room, just me, yet everyone outside of it, like right outside of my apartment. So I know people can hear me because I'm talking to them and they would type things on the phone. I forget what I asked at one point. I'm like, what about this? What about, I'm going off, like I'm trying to be a lawyer for myself in this situation. And they would like respond because of the clone phone thing. So, at one point, I did the code thing. I said, like, what, did you guys ever, like, did you ever think, what if it got to this point? Like, what am I supposed, should we have a code or whatever? And I don't know, guys, if you look through my iTunes library, like all 1,500 songs, or you saw my playlist on YouTube, or how you knew about the Mata Hari song, because it's not that old. It's like a year old. But you were pretty quick to show me that song. It's like it was definitely picked prior to or something. Like somebody is a #1 fan of that song, coincidentally. And because I asked him, like, what am I, like, what do you do? Like, shouldn't we have a code or whatever? And that song comes up, Mata Hari. And it's the first line, and I'm a godless spy. Yeah, I'm a godless spy, I uncover your secrets or something. And I was like, no, okay, no to all of those, because I'm not godless, I'm not a spy, no, okay. So that clearly hasn't always been your guys' code though, because that would be very strange. But I'm guessing this is basically what happened. I mean, the coincidence, the similarities to Mata Hari, you know, that's why I liked her, or I like her. Well, I just like her story anyway. But, you know, it's bizarre because, like, oh yeah, she's a spy. Typical, a situation that Samantha Tori would find herself in probably, you know what I'm saying? That's why I like Mata Hari. Actually, when I have a place that I'm like, is mine, I have a picture, like I either want to paint a picture of Mata Hari or just get a printed, the one you always see of her with the headband and it's like a Swanee thing. Yeah, her story is like, you know, like I said, it's relatable to me. Like I can relate to it. So that's that song. Now, you know, I told you in one of the videos, my first videos, the Marina and the Diamonds featuring the public housing crickets video, I mentioned, you know, at that I just decided to fight crazy with crazy at some point. So this is now before Marina and the Diamonds. I'm, for some reason, hiding out in the bathroom. I think because I didn't feel safe, you know, like it was fucking like, what I'm most annoyed about is, one, I've mentioned this before, I knew the phone was cloned, and I just, you know, purposefully, I believe, am always being made to be busy, and like, you know, or was, and Oh, I'm sorry. Whatever. It just, that's like, ASMR. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I sound too much like a know-it-all when I talk, so I'm just gonna start doing ASMR videos. Does that sound good? Anyhow, larger than life, Backstreet Boys. At some point, I'm hiding in my bathroom because it feels the safest place to be. And I'm just like talking. I don't remember what I was saying or anything. But at some point, I remember like getting, because I was getting pissed. So I was getting like obnoxious, I was getting obnoxious kooky. Like in like Marina and Diamonds time. And for some reason, Backstreet Boys Larger Than Life popped into my head. And so I started singing it out loud, and I'm like, you know what? I'm into that. I'm into that. I start like, I am talking loud enough for people to hear. I go to play it on my phone. Somebody would not, for the life of them, would not let me fucking play Backstreet Boys Larger Than Life. And I thought that was the funniest thing. I was like, because I'm picturing like, this brother, you wouldn't associate, that's why he didn't want, he didn't want that to be played, because, you know what I'm saying? It was like, it was so funny, and I'm like, seriously? I was laughing my ass off. So on top of like fighting for, racing somebody for like an actual phone contact, they were racing me to not play Larger Than Life, So I was like, is that a code? Like, is that why? Like if you're ever in crossfire between two rival gangs, one being imaginary, guys, you need to play Larger Than Life by Backstreet Boys. There's some kind of message in there that could save your life, apparently. So, don't mind me. So that was funny, like Larger Than Life. Because I'm like, oh, hell yeah, that sounds about right. And I was like, he would not let me do it. I forget who ended. I mean, I guess I stopped fighting it. Right? Like, I don't remember how that battle ended. It was so funny. So funny. I'm sorry, I'm just listening because I thought I heard. Yeah, I said in my last video, don't mind the curtain. It fell when I was going to shut the window, because that's how it is here. You can't actually like hang things. Yeah. Now, another story I could tell you. I had a couple ideas while I was like getting ready to film. Well, I could tell you the ghost story, Margaret here. So it is pretty creepy, like, because this is how, again, I've mentioned how my psychic faculties are mental, so I hear things sometimes. I'm good with names for some reason. I mentioned my guardian angel. I just heard Maurice. Same with this ghost. This was 2017 or 2016, whatever. I think it was 2017, summer of 2017. Joe was taking a shower. It was at this apartment. Joe was taking a shower, and Aiden, Damon, and myself were downstairs in the living room. And when Joe came down, he asked just basically, like, who did that? Like, who messed with me in the bathroom? And we're like, no one. Like, no one moved or anything. Basically, he said it felt like a kid, like the curtain shower, like that kind of thing. And we're like, no, we've all been here, okay? So he was a little creeped out. And then I think he had another incident like that happen again. So I don't know how I just started calling her I knew it was a girl that I named Margaret. I just started referring to the ghost as Margaret. And so weird because soon after, I got a job here at the local gas station for like a week. And when I was there, they had the boss and some other girl working there were talking, and the supervisor or boss was like, who moved that billboard or, whatever. And the girl said, oh, I don't know, must have been Margaret. And I'm like, Margaret? That's weird, because it's not a name that you use or hear often, And I said, who's Margaret? And it's their invisible employee. They just happen to call her Margaret. It's like a running gag there. Like, hey, when you don't want to take the blame for something, blame Margaret. But, what are the odds of that? Like, kind of weird. And I guess other stuff kept happening, or I don't know. Eventually, at some point, I messaged the guy that lived here prior to me, because he and his girlfriend, they lived here. I worked with her when I worked at Goodwill. But I talked to him more, like I was more comfortable asking him. And I said, hey, like, sorry for the randomness, but you have any like ghostly encounters here when you were living here? And he's like, oh, you're talking about the little girl upstairs? And I was like, oh, I have that still, that message. I didn't say anything like, I didn't hint it. I just said, do you have any ghostly experiences or encounters here? Yeah. Oh, are you talking about the little girl upstairs? And yeah, so apparently I have a ghost. We have a ghost named Margaret. Now, the funny thing is, it must have been, what month is this again? March? Okay, March. Maybe like late January, early February. I was here at the apartment, and I had a sheet. I had cleaned the mattress in the other room, and just to cover, like, so so there wasn't that bare look of a mattress in the room, like leaned up against a wall, I put a sheet that I thought was cute that I got from Goodwill, right? One day when I was in my room, I'm looking at whatever, and then I see like black writing on it, and I'm like, I didn't notice that before. And I look at it, and the name is Marjorie. And it's like, who writes their name on sheets anymore? Like, the sheets don't look that old, like from a 1940s orphanage, you know what I mean? It was weird. I kind of got creeped out. I have them still. I could go get them, but I should probably focus on this killer makeup job first. Yeah, I'll have to show you guys like kid pictures of me. I've always had dark circles. Like, I didn't sleep last night, like hardly, but it doesn't matter if I do or don't. I've always had, I'll hurry up and you guys can see some kid pictures. Yeah, I've just always